Good morning. Just just to confirm whether I am audible.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Hello.
Good morning. Good morning. And the screen is visible. Can you see the
Yes,
numerical
sir.
of liver on screen?
Yes, sir. It is
Hello.
visible.
You can see the numerical,
Yes, sir.
right? Okay. It's 11 o'clock, so maybe 2 more minutes, 2 3 minutes we will wait so that other, if they intend to join, they can join, and then we will start. All right, so we will start. A few days back, I had sent you one email to join the Google Classroom. Very few of you have joined, and many of you have not joined. So I again appeal to join that, because whatever material, notes, etc., book, etc., you need for this subject, those will be posted only on that Google Classroom. There is some benefit for a Google Classroom. All material will be intact at one place, and anytime we can repost if somebody requires it again. So therefore, there is some added advantage if we get associated with the Google Classroom. And also, all of you have got now the email ID, official email ID, including printing students also. And that's why will not be any problem in joining now. My problem is that I cannot join you if you don't have the official email ID. Because I am using my official email ID, that's why I can only add those students whose email IDs are official. That is with domain of pvgcot.ac.in. Okay. Right. So again, just to recheck, am I audible? Shall I start?
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Yes.
So what you see on the screen is again one numerical on a lever design. This is the numerical which is this is application which is used in a safety valve in a boiler. Okay, so before reading the statement of the problem, you can
Excuse
see.
me, sir.
Yes.
So your screen is not visible.
Oh, I see. Okay. Right. It must be now.
Yes, sir.
Right. So this is application which is used in the boiler. So okay, full screen now visible.
Yes, sir.
Right. So this is application which is used in the boiler. This is actually a boiler. Say this is a boiler part beneath this line. This is a boiler part beneath this line, below this line, and if it is used to suppose this is say a boiler, right? There is some steam here, and if that steam pressure exceeds some preset limit, this should open. This should open. This valve should open. It means that below that set limit, this valve should be closed, and this dead weight will be now sufficient to put this valve in place always. So this is an equilibrium condition. What is shown on the figure is an equilibrium condition. Then. For this application, we have to design a lever. It's called as a lever safety valve. So statement is given that the pressure in the if I read a complete sentence, a lever safety valve is mounted on the boiler to blow off at a pressure of 1.5 megapascal. So this is actually a equilibrium pressure. If it exceeds beyond this, it should open. The diameter of the valve is 50 mm. So what you see here, this diameter is 50 mm. The distance between the fulcrum and the pin connecting the valve spindle is 100 mm. So decimal distance actually 100. Decimal distance is 100. The lever and the pin is made up of plain carbon steel 30C8, for which SYT is given as 400 Newton per mm square. Factor of safety is 5. Permissible bearing pressure, we have seen the use of permissible bearing pressure in the numerical yesterday also. Permissible bearing pressure is given between the pin and the lever, of course, is 25 Newton per mm square. Lever has a rectangular cross section with width to thickness ratio is 3:1. Yesterday also we discussed that to what thing you call width and to what thing you call thickness. It again a perception, but necessarily when you think of the cross section of the lever cross section is something like this. Something like this means the height is more as compared to this dimension. So if I say width to thickness ratio here 3:1, then actually here this becomes 3 and this becomes 1. Okay, I actually purposefully today use the highlighter because yesterday there was some problem in locating the cursor if you take a very small cursor. Okay, so this is the simple diagram. Then this is application is converted into a simple sketch which is useful for us, where P is the load acting deadweight. Then W actually is nothing but a steam load acting because of the steam pressure. W is nothing but a load acting because of the steam pressure. Under the action of this applied load and the steam pressure load, this system remains in equilibrium. Since this is a fulcrum end, say you can say this is say O end or fulcrum end, you can always take some equations of equilibrium. Okay. So while solving the first set, I have just mentioned the given data. This is all given data, which actually now we discuss, so they don't need to again read this. First of all, pressure is given to us. Pressure is given to us. So that pressure we have to convert it into a load. So pressure is given in megapascal, 1.5 megapascal. So 1.5 megapascal means 1.5 into 10 to the power 6 Pascal. Pascal means Newton per mm square. Sorry, Newton per meter square. Right? Okay. So we have to convert into Newton per mm square because other dimensions, I mean length dimensions, we take or diameter we take in mm. That's why we need to convert this into first Newton per mm square. That's why 1.5 into 10 to the power 6 it becomes Newton per meter square into 10 to the power minus 6 becomes Newton per mm square. Divided into pi by 4 diameter square. So this will just pressure into cross-section area of that wall. It becomes a load acting because of this steam. So this becomes a load W 2945124 answer. This becomes a W. Means this is that W which I said. Now the length, which length are given? Say here it is mentioned that the distance between the fulcrum and the deadweight on the lever is 1000, and distance between the fulcrum and the pin connecting the wall is 100 mm. So it means that this is given as 100 mm and this is given as say 1000 mm. Okay, so LW is 100, LP is 1000. We put these values here because P into LP, because this is a support end. At this end, if we take a moment equation, it should be 0 at the moment, should be 0, or summation of moment rather, summation of moment should be 0 at the equilibrium, at the reaction end or support end. That's why this thing you very much know, that P into LP minus, now because steam pressure is upward in direction. So P into 1000 minus W into 0, W into 100, right? P into 1000 minus W into 100, this equal to 0. This equal to 0. So in other words, we can say that P into 1000 is equal to the W into LW. From this equation of equilibrium, or equation of basically a summation of moment only, I have taken only on the other side. Okay. But this is nothing but simple. If you say this is nothing but summation of moment at say that fulcrum end is equal to 0. The same equation is written. Okay. Only thing that this is, if you put this W into LW on this side, remaining on the right hand side will be 0. So this is the moment equation only. Because yesterday also we can see that the very first step in the lever design is to just get known all the forces and reactions if not known earlier. So this is that effort. This is the method. So we get all the forces first. Now W and P if I once get, then comes the reaction. Then comes the reaction. Now reaction is where? Reaction is at the fulcrum end. Fulcrum is where? Fulcrum is at the, this is say O suppose, O is the fulcrum end suppose. So P, so this is not a loading diagram, simple loading diagram now. P acting at the end, W is somewhere acting at the distance of 100 mm from this pivot or fulcrum end, and then or R. Now you have to assume one direction of R. Just recall your applied mechanics. You have to assume some direction of R first here. Okay, and the diagram loading or the configuration of the loadings suggest me or give me idea that I should take R downward. Then only it will balance the W. So I have taken downward R. Of course, there is no need to take downward. If you take upward, you will get R negative. Very simple. And then if you get R negative, you have to correct your direction. As simple as that. So R I have taken now, since I know that R is going to be downward only. So R I have taken downward, and then equations of equilibrium again, because R plus P, that is all forces in downward direction, is equal to all forces in upward direction, that is equal to W. So R plus P W. So from that you can get R also. Here our one step ends. Which step? That we found out all the forces and the reactions. This is our first step. Then to find the pin dimensions now. To find the pin dimension. I told you yesterday also that to pin dimensions means what? Here there is one pin. Pin nothing but what? Pin is nothing but a sort of small rod. Okay, which will support this inside this hole. So pin will be stationary. Okay, and this can be the lever can have some motion because it is meant for that motion. When you expect this to be lifted, when you expect the wall to be lifted, the lever has to get lifted. So that relative motion will be there between the pin surface and the other surface of the lever. So here where the bearing pressure will come into picture. This I explained already, that whenever two surfaces are in contact and they are subjected to some compressive force, right, or some force which is not separating them, that force, if it is there, and if those surfaces have got some relative motion, then bearing pressure should be considered. So that's why bearing pressure to be considered here. So considering the bearing pressure equation now, bearing pressure equation is very simple. Bearing pressure is equal to force divided by projected area. Force divided by projected area. Now, where you want to find bearing pressure? You want to find the bearing pressure on the pin end. Where the pin end. And what is the force there? Force is there R. That is a reaction. So reaction, it means a force which is that pin is subjected to divided by cross section, divided by area under projection. Okay. Now, when we say area under projection, again I have told you that whenever you have some something like this shape, and if you say that this is equal to some L and this is some D, area projected is nothing but one rectangle. The rectangle dimension is, this is L and this is D. So same thing is done here also, L upon L into D. 25 Newton per meter square is the bearing pressure given. R is known, L by D is known. Now here, one equation, two unknowns, we cannot solve the problem. That's why you have to adopt one relation between L and D, so that two unknowns can be converted into one unknown. Now this can be given things L is equal to 1.25 D, or it may not be given. If it is given that length of the pin is equal to some 1.5 times diameter, well and good, we have to adopt that equation. If it is not given, that day also I told you that the length of the pin is equal to in the range of 1 to 2D. So you can take 1.5D, 1.25D, 1.4D. Okay. But suppose if you have any doubt that when the examination will be there, how one can have different assumptions and accordingly different solutions will be there. In examination, generally the problems are set so that there will be unique answer. Okay. But still, if by mistake examiner has not given this range, you always take a midpoint, say 1.5 is a suitable thing. The range is 1 to 2, 1.5 is a suitable thing. I have taken here 1.25D. There is no problem in assuming that also. So putting this L is equal to 1.525D, and back into this equation, unknown becomes only 1. You can find out the value of D then. So D in this case comes in this case becomes 9.71. Very anybody will round off it to a 10 mm nearest value, 10 mm, and therefore diameter is 10 mm of the pin, and length of the pin is, as per our assumption, 1.25 D. That's why it becomes 12.5 D. So diameter of pin is fixed, length of pin is fixed. Please understand that this length of pin and diameter of pin is obtained by considering the bearing pressure equation. Bearing pressure equation. See, if you refer some number of problems, you will see there are 3 types of equations used to get the pin diameter. One is the bearing pressure equation, which just now we are seeing. Another is the bending equation, because pin also can bend, and third is the shear equation. Okay, shear equation. But let me tell you, as per my experience, that if some diameter you found considering the bearing pressure, that diameter always remains safe if you even consider the bending and shear equation. See what I'm saying? If you find the diameter of the pin by bearing pressure equation, it remains always safe under bending and shear. You can try the equations of bending and shear. You will get that the induced bending stress or induced shear stress will be less than respective permissible stresses. That's why this is my experience, that bearing pressure, if you use equation, then that pin will be always safe in the other 2 types of failures. Okay. So accordingly, then other one failure also is cross check. Cross check is shear failure. Shear failure you can now cross check. Now when you say shear failure, now the equation is tau is equal to force divided by cross section area. But since when we say again a pin, this is say a pin now, and that part of the length of the pin is in contact with the boss or hub of the lever. That is why if there is some forces, because this is stationary, pin is stationary. That's why if you can anticipate the failure of the pin under shear, the pin under shear can fail this way. This type of failure you can anticipate in the pin. Now this is what? This is a double shear. Double shear. What is a responsible force for this? Is a force acting on the pin. What is the force acting on the pin? Is the reaction itself. That is why tau is equal to force divided by cross sectional area. I mean area that is under shear. There are 2 such areas. One area is here, pi by 4 d square. Other area is here, pi by 4 d square. 2 times pi by 4 d square, where d is the diameter of this pin. Putting all the relevant numbers, you can get tau is equal to 18.75. Tau is equal to 18.75. Okay. Now what you are doing, you already put the value of d and tau you obtain. What to do with this tau? This obtained tau, that it will mean this is a induced shear stress in the pin material. That you have to cross check that whether this is less than permissible or not. So this is a shear stress acting, and this shear stress acting, shear stress induced should be less than permissible. Permissible is what? This is a shear. This is a shear. That's why permissible must be 0.5 SYT by factor of safety, because 0.5 SYT will give the shear strength. 0.5 SYT will be give the shear strength. So 0.5 SYT by factor of safety is nothing but a permissible shear stress. That value comes out 80, because 400 SYT is given, factor of safety 5 is also given. So tau is equal to 18.75, which is less than 80. It means it will not fail under shear. So same thing is written, it will not fail under shear. Once you find diameter of the pin,
sir.
Yes.
The value of R was, I think, different previously. It was the value of P which you have taken.
Is it? Okay, let me check again. Yes, it is 26 point. This actually I was solving this. Okay. What we do? You consider this R. You try to understand the procedure. This is one mistake. This is a value of P. And accordingly, I must have got answer, right? But if you consider that this is something wrong and you take the appropriate value, still you get a safe because the range is very large. You know, this is 18.75 and this is 80 Newton per mm square. This is range is very large.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
that's why
Yes, sir.
still it becomes a safe against the shear failure, right? Okay. So once you know this diameter, once you know this diameter means I have to change this cursor always. This is that diameter now, because diameter of pin will be equal to this diameter. If you don't provide the bush, but it is recommended. This is recommended to provide the bush. So when we put the bush of 3 mm thickness to be placed on the pin, the inside diameter of the bush, this is again something wrong, inside diameter of bush, no, inside diameter of, this is wrong again, inside diameter of the boss, inside diameter of boss, this is wrong, because this actually I want inside diameter of boss, that is equal to diameter of pin plus 2 times thickness of bush. So diameter of pin is 10, 2 times thickness, 3 mm thickness I taken, it becomes 16. So this diameter, inside diameter becomes, the diameter is D, suppose Di say is equal to 16. And now you want to find out the outside diameter. 2 ways to find the outside diameter. One way is thumb rule. As per thumb rule, this outside diameter should be equal to 2 times the inner diameter. It means it should be equal to 32. One way. Other way is that consider the bending failure of this cross section, because see now if I say that this entire cross section, whether you take cross section here, anywhere, entire cross section is subjected to bending moment. That's why that boss cross section is also subjected to bending moment. Okay. Therefore, this cross section, which is actually seen, this cross section is nothing but this one, which is shown here in 2-dimensional form. This is that cross section. This cross section is subjected to bending moment also. Let this cross section be used in the bending moment equation, and we'll decide some unknown. So that is a second way of getting the diameter of boss is considering the bending stress. Okay. So moment we say bending stress, equation is what? Sigma b is equal to m upon I by 1. Right? So m we have to put, I we have to put, y we have to put, you get bending stress. The bending stress, now depending on unknown, whether you want to make it sigma b unknown or you want to make some parameter on the right hand side unknown, depending on that you can choose a proper, you can take a proper decision. Now, very important note here, as per the loading diagram, bending moment at the fulcrum end is 0, because suppose if I draw the force diagram, one force is here, other force is here, and reaction is here. This is the bending, this is the loading diagram. If you draw the loading diagram and you know how to find out the bending moment at each cross section, right? To find the bending moment at each cross section, just to recall your strength of material. To find the bending moment at any cross section, suppose if I want bending moment at this XX location, what I should do? I should find bending moment at XX is equal to this force into this more distance, only from one end, Okay. Suppose I want distance, suppose bending moment at this location, let us say YY location. Bending moment at YY location can be obtained by, again, either you take this force into this much distance, or go by this side, right hand side, this force into this much distance minus this force into this much distance, this way. Okay, but any way if you find, you will get the bending moment 0 at this end and bending moment 0 at this end. Please understand, you get bending moment 0 at these two ends. This means that this cross section is also subjected to 0 bending moment, right? 0 bending moment, and that's why there is no point using bending failure equation here, because it is subjected to 0 bending moment. But we know that similar boss structure you are going to use here also. You are going to use here also, right? In this application, similar stuff. See, what is boss? If somebody still not understanding what is a boss, boss means what? Suppose if you have got, say, some plate of this nature, which is nothing but actually liver suppose. And if you want to remove the material here for any purpose, okay, this material, this will weaken the area of this. And if you weaken the area of this, you want to put extra material there. So that extra material is something like this. This you will put here, so that this length little more than the width of this plate. I hope I made it clear. So point is that this similar cross section you will experience here also. I mean, similar boss and the pin arrangement will be here at this location also. But at this location, bending moment is not zero. Bending moment is zero only at this location. So what we do? Suppose in some in some application or in some vehicle or some engineering application, let's say bracket, suppose if you are using some 10 bolts, you will not design each bolt. What we do, you will design a bolt which is having a maximum size, and the same size you will use everywhere, so that your inventory becomes less and the number of different items becomes less. Same fundamental same concept you can use here, that since you are using the same pin and boss arrangement here, why not to use the same boss arrangement here? Same arrangement. So therefore, design will not be different at these two locations. Out of these two, we'll select that cross section which will be subjected to maximum bending moment. Now here we just now we have seen that bending moment at this location is zero. At this location is zero. Bending moment is at this location is zero. But at this location is not equal to zero. What we do? We'll design this pin and the boss instead of this pin and the boss. I hope I'm making very clear. I want design two pins and two bosses, but which I will design? I will design this one because this is subjected to some better value. I mean, some increased value of bending moment, which is not the case here. Okay. So therefore, it is now clear that I want to design now this pin and the boss. Pin diameter we already found out, and boss diameter can be found out by two ways, as I told you. One way is to find, considering the 2 times the diameter, and other is considering the bending stress equation. And therefore now bending stress equation sigma b is equal to m upon I by y. If you now just focus on what m I have written here, if you just focus on what m I have written here, this is the value of m, this much. Sorry, this much, you will say this much. This is equal to bending moment at this location, bending moment, which is equal to end force minus some distance. The distance actually is 1000 minus 100. Okay, so this becomes the bending moment divided by I of this cross section, L into DO cube minus DI cube divided by 12. This is a traditional, very standard equation, and you also are aware of. So L into DO cube minus DI cube divided by 12 into Y is now DO by 2, because Y is, you can see Y is nothing but this much. This is Y. Y is DO by 2. So now here if you see, there are two unknowns, DO and DI. Sigma b is also there. What we do? We equate sigma b to permissible. Permissible is given by this, which I have written on the right hand side, SYT by factor of safety, because bending is nothing but tension and compression. So it is sigma b permissible is as if it's a sigma t permissible, sigma tension permissible. So SYT by factor of safety becomes 80. 80 becomes my permissible value. Here now some because 2 and 12 you can simplify it, 6 becomes on the numerator, then you can have some simplification. What we do, di we put as it is, because already we found out the inner diameter of that boss. DO, let it be unknown. So after simplification, this is simplification that we have to understand. This is now mathematics. Okay, you can get one equation in a cubic form, and I told you that one way to solve this is use a calculator. There is one method to solve the cubic equation directly into the calculator. I told you that if you do not know, please go to some YouTube or some on internet, try to find out that how to get the solution of the cubic form of equation. Other way is that you can guess some initial value of DO, and initial value of DO you can guess and put that DO, that guess here, and let this what you find on the right hand side. It should be very close to 0. If maybe after 4 or 5 trials, you get the value of DO. So DO is coming here 41.5 equal to 42 mm I have taken. So this is the considering the bending stress equation. Just understand, earlier we had seen that it was 2 times the diameter, so it becomes 32 mm. This is by thumb rule or by 2 times inner diameter criteria, and this we obtained by bending criteria now. So out of these two, maximum is 42. That's why we'll select the 42, and that becomes our outside diameter of the boss. And here the diameter of boss is now fixed. So now once you get this pin diameter and the boss diameter, pin diameter, boss inner diameter, boss outer diameter, this you will use same dimensions here also. We need not redesign again at this location, because same pin is to be used, because that pin can be interchangeable. That boss can be interchangeable. So, okay, so same boss and same pin dimensions we can use at this location. Also, there is no need to separately design for this. Then coming to the lever cross-section dimension. Lever cross-section dimension. Lever cross-section is subject to the bending moment. Okay. Maximum bending moment, if you see, because this is now reaction end. So if you take bending moment here, as I said, at the XX location, bending moment will be equal to P into Dismer distance. And if you want to take it here, it will be equal to P into Dismer distance minus W into distance. Okay. So it is now clear that maximum bending moment, you can even try actually. You can take one section very close to this one or here, and take one section here on this side. If you see W, you can take one section on the right hand side of the W. You can take one section on the left hand side of the W, and try to find out the bending moment. You will see that bending moment is maximum in this section, which is very near to this W. So maximum bending moment here is on this side. So again, bending moment is there, it means definitely we will attempt to try the bending stress. Bending stress is equal to sigma b m upon I by y. Okay, m upon I by y. What is m now? What is m? M is equal to, at this location, see, location just concentrate on XX section on this figure. XX section. XX section is very near to the boss. Why? Just let me change the color font of this. Why I have not taken a section here, because the section passing through the is not rectangle. It is something different, right? It is having some hole also. But here, if you take a section XX, that is a purely a section of the lever, having a solid section. Not there is no hole, etc. Right? That section XX is nothing but this, which I have not separately drawn. Okay, B into H is that section. Now, bending moment at this section XX is equal to P into how much distance? This distance only. Okay, and this distance is nothing but total distance LP minus LW, means 1000 minus LW minus this much part. Can you see this? What I am drawing now? This much part, this much part, this much diameter, so radius. Say you can say radius of this. That is du by 2. That much distance will minus, will subtract, and then you will get the bending moment. This is nothing but now bending moment at section XX, at XX divided by I. I is, just see now, section is this one. So I about this axis is B into h cube by 12. So B into h cube by 12, and Y is h by 2. We get Y h by 2. So here h by 2. One h will get cancelled with this, because here h cube is there, here h is there. H will get cancelled here. Here it remains h square. Then 2 will get cancelled with this 12, and it becomes 6, and 6 becomes on the numerator. And now sigma B we equate to permissible. Sigma B we equate to permissible. So permissible is SYD by factor of B, that is equal to 80. And so on the right hand side, again two unknowns, B and H. B and H. H is equal to 3a times B. This actually is given in the statement of the numerical. If you read again, if I go to the statement of the numerical, you can see somewhere here the thickness of this cross section, last line means, if I again highlight that, this one, this is 3:1 lever cross section, rectangular lever cross section, 3:1. Therefore, this H is equal to 3 times B. We have put here, so two dimensions, two unknowns are converted into only one unknown. Only B is there. You can solve it now. There is a cubic equation again, but there is no term of B square or B only. That's why it's very simple. You can find out the value of B, and B is 12.92. It becomes 13 mm. Okay, approximately 13 mm. That's why H is equal to 3 times B. It becomes 39 mm. Right? So this way we found out the lever cross section also. 3 steps were there. First was finding out broadly 3 steps. First of all, finding out all the forces and reactions. Second step was finding out the pin diameter and the boss diameter. Third step was finding out the lever cross section. These 3 distinct steps, if you can remember or understand as a procedure of lever design, you can say that almost 90% problems you can solve of lever design. 10% I don't say, because there are some variations. There can be some variations which actually we are not aware of at this moment of time. It may need some extra knowledge of design of shaft or design of some other keys, etc. Okay, so those will not be solved by you at this moment. But with this knowledge, you can solve 80 to 90% of all the textbook problems which you have by this method. Okay, so what we do, 15 minutes actually I want you to give to you, so that you can ask some question, because you don't ask questions. There should be some question from your end, then only it becomes an interactive class. Because many of you may not be aware of few things. Some of you might have skipped something while I was talking. All can be, I can answer all those questions. Because next topic is there now. Next topic, either I will start the design of quarter joint or design of eccentric loaded components. These 2 topics are remaining in this first unit. Else we covered. Now actually now it's your turn to do some practice at home. Okay, what I can give some reference books, like Bhandari book I can give to you. I can give whatever I am explaining you. This I can give in PDF form to you. But all these, as I said, that all this will be posted on the Google Classroom. You have to get it from there only. All of you have got the official email IDs. Please join that Google Classroom, so that it becomes easy for me to mail you everything and get the record of everything, whatever is being shared. So that is for it has some advantages that I already told you. Okay, so what I do now, I'll post this first one link of attendance. Okay, you can meantime you can give the attendance and ask some questions if any, if you have got. If anybody has got problem in this numerical or in earlier numerical or even from earlier lectures, you can please ask so that I will be happy. I'll be happy to give you some answers to your questions so that you will be in a position to do some self-study. Any suggestion from your end whether this type of teaching is going well? What things you are receiving? What things you are not receiving? One more thing, whether the whatever I write here, that font size, etc., is okay for you, because few of you must be attending these lectures through mobile, or a few of you must be with the laptop. So the screen size will differ in each cases from person to person. So whether this font size, etc., is sufficient for you to read clearly.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any more? Only 2-3 people only respond and talk. Either all
Yes,
other have, all other have not got
Okay,
any
sir.
problem.
Yes, sir. And on the laptop, it is
Clearly visible, and whatever I talk is clearly. You can listen clearly. You can hear clearly.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. You are audible.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Any
Yes, sir.
suggestion you want to give to me that to make it more effective? Something is missing from your end, because you have to do some practice. See, this way we will continue. Maybe we don't know how far we will continue these online sessions. Maybe entire semester also. Who knows? And therefore, you have to do some work. What help I can provide to you so that it will be easy for you to do some work at home. You can submit me, and for all for that, the Google Classroom is very important. The other day, I'll be giving you some assignment. You have to post that assignment on the Google Classroom. So it is very it is better to join immediately with the Google Classroom so that I can upload there. You can upload me as their assignments. I can cross-check assignments, and I can give you some feedbacks on those assignments, because understanding is more important. This is very fundamental subject. No response on your side? Any discussion you don't want to do with me? Somebody is asking to join the code. Code is there definitely, but I have sent you mail. There is one in that mail. there is a join button. I don't want to make it public. It should be a class of P mechanical and class of P printing only. That's why I have sent mails to your official mail IDs.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Is there any specific way to design the connection of the boss and the lever, or they are integrated part itself?
Boss and the lever, or pin and the lever. What you said?
The outer diameter of the boss and the lever.
And the lever means lever cross section.
Yes, sir. How can we? That means we need to extrude the rectangle on the boss
So that is
cylinder.
these two are different parts. They are actually welded.
Okay.
They are welded. Connection is there. It's not a single element.
Okay. Then are there any steps to design those, or just welding is the procedure?
Connection. Welding design is one another criteria. Welding you have to see whenever if we are talking about the pin design or boss design, we are silently neglecting the welding design. But if you take a problem as a whole, right? If it is a design project for you, you have to consider the design of welding also. Our subject is design of individual elements now. We are focusing on individual elements, right?
Okay.
When it comes in the form of a design project, then you have to take care of each element, each connection. In that case, you have to also ensure that what will be the thickness, what will be the size of the welding required.
Okay.
Right? That will be a design of welding. A design of welding means you put a size of the welding, or you weld it and understand and find out the stresses in the welding. If that welding stresses is less than permissible, then your weld is okay.
Okay. Yes. I was having the query since the first lecture. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so those who already filled attendance, they can leave. The next topic will be either knuckle joint, or sorry, quarter joint, or a eccentric loaded joint. But please join the Google Classroom so that it will be easy for me to, post some material and post some assignments. You can submit those assignments there. I can evaluate the assignments. Everything we can do it in Google Classroom. What we will be doing in conventional classrooms.
एक्सक्यूज मी सर.
Yes.
तुम्ही तो म्हणजे ईमेल आमचा ईमेल ॲड्रेस तुमच्याकडे जो आहे त्याच्यावर पाठवला का?
तुमचे ऑफिशियल मेल आयडी आहेत ना? म्हणजे कुठले?
कॉलेजकडे आहे ते.
Let me stop the recording so that this will also